The old Earth cycle, you had literally blue and green people. The blue pigment was recovered in the Appalachian Mountains to stop the children of Scotta or Scotia from being Scotta. The children of Scotta, those red-haired gingers, from being whooped to death by the sun. So Big Mama was giving them what's called silver water. And the silver water was turning their skin blue, but it was allowing them to go through a photosynthesis like plants. That melanin does something different, but it was able to keep them from being burned up by the sun. And now that we shades of wheat, they the color of the moon. So we call them moon children. But the real moon children is what we call albinos. And they have special gifts, psychic gifts that they rarely tap into because they too busy fighting the stereotypes of them being albino. All of that was part of the system of racism that was given to us as a caste system. And that caste system was designed to oppress the ones that look like us and to tell people that we just some human waste product that was shipped over on a ship. The Africans didn't want us, so they gave us to the Europeans who brought us over here. That's just nothing could be further from the truth. Everything that we already did over here, we still do. When we go to club and we see us doing them line dances, that's what we was doing before the settlers came, right? When we having dance offs out in the bay and they getting hyphy with it, that's old culture. That's the same as breakdancing culture, but it's the West Coast version, right? Breakdancing culture is out of New York from them tribes and how they express themselves in song and dance. Then you got other local dances, like in Chicago, you got the Hoover Stomp, and you got ballroom and what they call it stepping. Stepping is slightly different than ballroom, but it's similar. Then you got in New Orleans, they jigging, they gigging in the South. All this stuff is stuff we already did that's written about in the historical description of the natives of the land. But we're not reading the culture, matching it with the history in order to determine if we in fact are those people in the history books that they whitewashed. We are. We just don't accept it because we spent so many years trying to develop a confraternity with Africans that some people took the confraternity concept to mean that we all be supposed to be in Africa. If we was all supposed to be in Africa, most of us would have been born over there. We native to here. We're organic to these lands. I'm Mississippi clay dirt walking. I know where my ancestry traced back to.
Yeah, man. Definitely. You know what? You know what's interesting. Before I get to the next question, I asked you about Chicago a little earlier and the importance of that area, that geographical location. And you talked about line dancing. The greatest R&B singer of all time is from Chicago. Now he may be, I don't know what he's doing, what he did in his private life, but in terms of a catalog, family, there's nobody has been like R. Kelly. R. Kelly got the illest R&B catalog of all time, and we don't get that music no more, which makes me appreciate his music even more. Now, I'm not talking about what he done in his personal life. I don't know. I seen, I remember the video back in the day. But what I'm talking about is the music. I played The World's Greatest at my mother's funeral. Yeah, that was one of her favorite songs. I played The World's Greatest at my mother's funeral, and the brother was gifted. So shout out to Chicago and all the entities and ancestors who incarnated in this realm to Chicago. Big shout out to y'all. One last question, Rod, about the whole Africa thing. Gavzy sent a super chat. She says, what is the real reason, the big promotion for living abroad? Rod, I know it's a lot of people are talking about moving to Ghana. A lot of people are talking about getting land in Africa. I see Ernie and Leisure talk about that a lot, as well as other platforms saying we got to go back over there to Africa and get land. That's the next, that's where it's going to be at in the future. What's your thoughts on this big promotion of going to Africa to live and to get land, my brother?
Well, anybody that feel like they from Africa, Africa is on the rise fighting for their freedom. If you over here and you feel like you need to be over there helping them fight for their freedom, you need to be going over there as soon as possible. Don't wait till they win and then try to go over there, because then they're gonna treat you like spit on the bottom of a shoe, right? If you want them to win and you believe that you from Africa, I firmly believe you should go so y'all can get out of our way so we can fight for what's ours over here. We don't have a problem with the people of Africa because they was done the same way we was done, and in some cases maybe even worse. But then when you look at our history, we was done pretty bad. But the thing being is, if you if they can get as many of us off the land as possible, then they can prevent the rightful heirs from joining forces just to tell them it's time for you imposters to go. This is why they want to get you to leave. They want you to leave because you at home. You ain't gonna know you at home if you don't leave. But as soon as you leave, you're gonna be like, damn, this ain't home. I was at home. Right? Home got a specific and distinct feeling. Right? When I look out, when I look at pictures, aerial pictures of Montana, Wyoming, Nebraska, that look like home to me. When I look at aerial pictures of Botswana, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Ghana, Ivory Coast, that don't look like home to me. That it doesn't feel like I need to get there because that's home. I don't have that feeling. I have that feeling about this land that I need to do whatever I can to wake these people up so we can get the imposters out. We already know who we are, that we have a right. The ones of us that's supposed to find it out. We just got to get the grassroots to understand what is taking place, and that's the hard part. Because the grassroots, that's the Valley of Dry Bones. All of us go along to get along because they believe in the uniform system. And as long as these people wearing uniforms, they look legitimate to them, they won't resist. Stockholm syndrome. That's why they want you off the land so you won't claim your birthright.
Okay. Let's get to the next question. What's going on in Memphis with the golden blast seen on radar? See, I don't know anything about this. Thanks for bringing it up. A task force being deployed there, and Elon saying the Messiah will come from Memphis. Wow, I don't know nothing about this, Rob. What's going on with this question?
That's my first time hearing it too. I'm gonna have to look into it. Right. I don't know what the golden blast was seen on the radar. I didn't get that story. So if you on my social media, can you send me a link on the SikApe on Instagram or Rod Hayes on Facebook so I can look into it, because I don't know what they're talking about.
They said, what's Unc take on this golden dome Trump talking about?
This is the conclusion of something Ronald Reagan started called Operation Star Wars back in the 80s. Most of us don't know about it, but he did a whole speech. I think he was in front of the UN or some foreign people, but he was talking about Operation Star Wars, and that if we was to have a threat from outside of Earth, that it would automatically make us forget our differences. Well, the Golden Dome is the final phase, because the first phase was to put satellite lasers up, and the final phase is to put what they call a force field dome up. But it's not a physical force field. What it is it's a missile defense system, and it's a series of lasers that can shoot missiles down in the air before they land on the ground and cause destruction. So instead of you having a whole missile blow up a city, you had a debris of the missile, and it's raining metal now.
Okay. Are all the old slave plantations catching on fire being done by the government?
I don't know if all of them is, but I believe that the first one, I think it was, they call it the Annabelle burn. I think that one was a controlled burn, because when I was looking at it before they waited till the house was damn near burnt down before they started trying to put it out. that looked like a controlled burn. That mean that they was in on it. Because
Why
the
would they?
fire department come in immediately tearing up stuff to put a fire out.
Why would they want to burn it down, Rod?
Symbolism, the symbol of the fall of the slave system, right? The big house was they took them from Big Mama and repurposed them as a headquarters of a family farm that became a plantation.
Hmm. Somebody said it's the story of about the Annabelle doll real.
That doll, I don't know where it was created, where it's tied to some princess out of New Orleans who was a conjure queen. She was a child that put a conjure on the Annabelle doll.
Right, right.
Excuse me.
Take your time. Take your time, my brother. Take your time.
When you see the name Annabelle, Anna, Annie, Annie Mae, in the South, they are a princess heir, a heritable princess heir. When they say Belle or Bella, it's telling you that she's supposed to inherit at an early age as a young woman, 12, 14, right around puberty, she becomes actionable on her. Right, so they call her Annabelle. The Amos and Andy doll was a old New Orleans cultural phenomenon, just like they was giving out Teddy Ruxpin in the early '90s or late '80s. Right. They used to have doll makers. Doll makers made everything from children's play dolls for girls and all the way to voodoo dolls for the priesthood, because they were just professional doll makers. And the Raggedy Ann doll was created based off the legend of the Annabelle doll. In the masculine counterpart, because they can't let no woman under patriarchy have power without a male counterpart that's supposed to be equally as powerful. So they created Andy.
All right, let's get to this next question, Ross. Somebody wants to know what's the significance of the Pope being born in Chicago? So much Chicago talk.
Well, he's born based on his speech. He's giving that lingo like he gonna get a great mother back her stuff that they stole. He just did the Mother's Day speech, and it was heavily coded. And he did another speech about 4 to 5 days later that was heavily coded. Right, which takes us to King Charles. Yesterday, when they was announcing Larry Hoover commutation, they was also King Charles was in Canada begging for mercy because they realized that this is tribal land. It's all tribal land, right? So now you got, and then it was on Betty Shabazz' birthday. Oh, Black Betty, Bam-a-lam. Oh, Black Betty, Bam-a-lam. Black Betty had a child, Bam-a-lam, and that child went wild. There's codes in them songs, and it's tied to all of the stuff we seen going on, right? So on Betty Shabazz' birthday, they commute Larry Hoover's sentence. King Charles declared that this is Algonquin and another tribe we mentioned land, and then start begging for mercy, and then they asking for what they call truth and reconciliation. And most of us don't remember when South Africa was reclaimed by the South Africans and they was ousting the Boers for power. The first thing they did was came up with something called the Truth Commission. You remember that, Rich?
Yes.
And it was through the Truth Commission that they was able to get Mandela out. Right? And then he became the president of South Africa. Unless you under the Mandela effect and he died in prison.
Right. So, all right. You talk a lot about. Quick question before we get back to the question. Quick question for me. You talk a lot about the codes in the music. and you always mention Big Mama. I want to ask you about our greatest entertainer of all time, Michael Jackson. What the hell? Because you be talking about these codes, and you be like, "That's a flip on this, or that's that." You remind me of Bobby Hemming in a sense. You be saying some shit. We be like, "Wait, what the hell is Bobby talking about?" We be like, "What the hell?" Rob be like, "Nah, because that's a flip on this and that." Rob, what the hell does Mama say, Mama sa, Umaku sa mean? Michael Jackson. Now, I don't know if I said it right. What is that a code for, brother? MMM. Mama say, Mama sa, Umaku sa.
That's not what he's saying though.
What
He's saying is all I'm saying is I'm not gonna stop.
You know, I thought they told me that's what he was saying. Mama said, Mama saw. So that's not what he's saying.
What the lyrics are?
That's that. That's that Mandela effect. In my mind, somebody told me years ago.
It sounds like that's exactly what he's saying.
That's that Mandela effect. Now Ross say no, he not. See, I'm getting hit with the parallel that reality shit in that timeline, yo.
If you play a song right now, it still sounds exactly like he's saying, Mama say, Mama saw, I'm not gonna stop. What he's actually saying is all I'm gonna say is I'm not gonna stop.
Damn, I got now.
But that in okay, so now you brought up the codes in the music, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So let's take what we heard as a Freudian slip. A Freudian slip is something that you didn't intend to say, but it slipped out when you was trying to say something else.
Right.
But it's the truth.
Right.
All right. Now, Mama say, that's what Mama said. Mama saw. Mama is a birth priestess. Mama, my mama, Kosa. Cosign.
Cosign.
Right. So when we take it for the syllables and the homonym as a Freudian slip, he's saying my mama is saying, Mama say, Mama sa. My mama is the priestess, the Sa priestess, Mumakusa, right? My mama, right, gonna set or gonna solve, or you can, your mind will naturally put a suffix on a word if you recognize the sound pitch of the first part of the word. You can also you can put the first and last letter of a word and scramble the letters in the middle, but your man gonna tell you the exact word that they talking about.
Yo, this whole time, y'all, I grew up people telling me about Mama say, Mama saw. I'm just like, yo, what does that mean? Yo, I swear
I thought he was singing the African jingle for years.
For real. Wow, man, what a beautiful people. What a beautiful people. Oh man, I love this information. Somebody said this Negro encyclopedia.
You know, when I was locked up, they used to call me Dr. Rod, the Walking University.
Oh man.
So I used to tell people that's who I was when I first came home.
Somebody said I am today.
I got so used to hearing it.
Somebody said I am today years old when I realized this. Yeah, me too, man. Yeah. Somebody said I heard what you heard too, Rich. I ain't the only one. Got me out here looking crazy.
I told you, I heard it too. Had I not went, it was I seen a clip.
Yeah.
And they was talking about that. And then they showed the lyrics. That's the only reason why I know he's saying all I'm saying is I'm not gonna stop.
I'm saying, damn. Wow. All right, let's get to I don't want to keep right on here too long tonight, family. We still got 4,600 people in the chat. Let's get to give me a couple of more questions. We're gonna do about 3 more. Then we're gonna get out of here, family. What a night, what a beautiful night. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. But give me a couple of more. Let me see.
Hey, you want to hear something funny?
Yeah, what's up?
My father used to try to get me to be a motivational speaker, right?
Right.
I used to be like, Pop, I am not the one to motivate nobody.
Mm.
My
Damn.
mama used to try to get me to be a preacher. I was like, "Ma, I can't stand up in front of them people and tell them lies with a straight face.
Wow.
I'd be like Chuck Missler. That's a contrivance.
You,
You
you,
you
you
know anybody that want to know how much stuff in the Bible is made up? Watch Chuck Missler. He's an eschatologist. They study the history of the Bible and the scriptures and all that. But he be
Mhm.
telling you, like it's a couple of verses in the Bible that they actually just put them in there on translation. That's not part of the original canon. But people just took the verse to be gospel because it's in the book. Chuck
Mhm.
be like, yeah, that's a contrivance.
Mm.
Like they made it up. It's not in the original text.
Wow. Shit. Wow.
I was like, Mom, stop listening to Jimmy Swagger. Listen to Chuck Missler. Cause he gonna
Right.
tell you.
Right.
Chuck, Jimmy gonna boss it up for that dollar.
Right.
But
Right.
Chuck gonna tell you. Chuck Missler gonna tell you.
Mm. Uh. hmm. I seen the question. All right, let me just ask this because I'm just making sure. All right, I don't want to take too much longer. Damn, where did it go? I just had the question, y'all. I just had a question. I thought I saved it. Somebody said, when is Brother Rich going to start his own tribal community? Never. I don't know about that, y'all. I ain't trying to. Hey, man, I don't know about that. I don't know about
You
that.
already have a tribal community, Rich.
Yeah.
Your tribe is Black Magic 363. The chief is Rich,
Indeed.
right? And the ones who support you, that's your clan.
Indeed. Yeah, that's
And the
right.
ones that come on here to try to tear you down, them your ops.
Those the ops, huh? Those are the ops.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
they the ones that's trying to stop you from building the clan and teaching because your tribe don't have to all be on the same land. For people to
Mm,
understand, your
mm,
tribe can be scattered. They just got to know that if the chief get a call, where they need to go to reconstitute in order to show a force,
right.
right? So we remind all of the tribes who they are and respect their chief, and then their chief will allow them to support you on your recovery mission,
Mm,
right? The chief not gonna get in the way of what we call a righteous endeavor. The chief only gonna get in the way if he see you trying to lead, like for instance, because GDs wear blue. And I
mm,
go to California and mislead all of the Crips because I wear blue. And I know a whole bunch of stuff. So I can convince them that I'm smart. I ain't that damn smart. But I can convince them that I'm smart because I know a bunch of stuff. And then
mm,
I start misleading them. Man, Big Tookie be to send some gorillas to my door from his sleep. He won't even
mm,
have to be there. I look outside, them two big dudes that be with Easy E, the Twin Towers.
mm,
It'd be 20 of them in front of my door. Hey, we gotta have a conversation, my brother.
mm,
You out
mm.
here misleading. You out here misleading Crips,
Damn.
right? It would have been the same thing if I dressed and flamed up in red and went out there to mislead the Bloods. They
Mm,
gonna send somebody when the word get because the word travel in the hood on the gossip channel faster than the 7 o'clock news, the
mm.
6 o'clock news, or the 5 o'clock news. When
Damn.
you land in LA, every OG of any value know you just landed.
Ain't that son?
You can't hide.
Damn.
Now, if you are a civilian, what they
Mm,
call a regular person, you don't have to check in,
right.
right? Because you ain't worried about nothing, and you ain't gonna be doing no walking through the hood trying to see how to solve their problems for them like another chief would do,
Mm,
right? So first we try to figure out how to solve the problems at home, then we go look at other people's community and see if the problem is the same and if the solution is the same.
mm.
When you go to enough communities, then you sit back and you put all of it together. So what am I looking at here? How do we fix this?
Right. Right. So somebody said, please have the sky lift available at Stone Mountain for those who cannot hike up the mountain, please. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, I'm not responsible for that, Deborah. I can't guarantee that. We are going to be there. We're meeting at the mountain at 5:44 in the morning because we want to make it up there when the sun is coming up. It's an incredible feeling, and I can't guarantee it's going to be working at that time. I'm sure it'll be working by the time we leave, but yeah, I can't guarantee that. So I don't want y'all to come there and thinking the sky lift. Well, we're going to be hiking, but I'm not responsible for the sky lift, and I can't guarantee that. So I just want to let you know that ahead of time. All right. Next question. Somebody said, what does it mean when you don't dream, Rod? This person obviously doesn't dream, or somebody they know.
You dream. You just might not dream visually. You may dream just by kinesthetics, feeling alone. It depends on your learning style. Some people dream in only audio, but when they wake up, they can't remember all that stuff that was said because it was too much information. The subconscious got it. The conscious mind couldn't carry it over. So don't think you don't dream. Most people dream. Like 99.9% people dream. And they just dream other than visual and spatial dreams. You can dream just by going through a range of emotions during REM sleep. You still dreaming. Unless you don't never hit REM sleep.
All right. Next question. What is the best way to spiritually prepare for this new season?
The best thing to do, cleanse your body, cleanse your mind. By cleansing your body, cleansing your mind, that's how you clean your spirit. Yeah. Get the heavy metals out, clean your filters, because your filters is what get the toxins out. Your liver is a filter, your kidneys a filter, mullein tea for your lungs, because your lungs is a filter. Um, then you have your nerve endings is affected by heavy metals. That's not part of the platinum group. You ain't never heard of nobody having gold poisoning, but you sure as hell heard of people having lead poisoning.
Yeah, you know what makes you dream like a motherfucker too, Rod? When you wear that nicotine patch, man. You be lucid. Oh my God, family. I don't want to recommend
That's
because
because nicotine is a neurostimulant. You
yeah.
got nicotine receptors in the back of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
And matter of fact, they was telling people that some of those vaccines don't work if you smoke. That's because they wanted you to stop smoking because the one that was made out of snake venom attacks the nicotine receptors. But if you smoke, the nicotine receptor being occupied, it blocks out the venom.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, this is gonna be the last question, y'all. I hope. Some years back on Rod's viral Facebook video, he mentioned aliens contacted him and wanted to see Larry freed. Is that still at play? Wow.
Yep. And the thing is, I had to do this campaign on social media in order to make sure that all of this information is available to the public. Some of the stuff sound far fetched and science fiction, but I don't like it when they contact me. They 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 contact you using different mediums of contact. Sometimes they telepathically talk to you, but I figured out how to block their ass out telepathically. So then they use the weather patterns just like HARP. They hijack the weather, or they'll cause an earthquake that'll have a signature number on it, or it'd be a hurricane or tsunami and it has significant numbers or a name in the case of a hurricane or a cyclone. Like when I first started, because I got a message from Marcus Garvey in Australia with Cyclone Marcus was 7 on the Richter scale. I'm like, why the fuck is they calling me? They told me I ain't had no skills. but that trajectory and path was a code. All of the numbers in the vitals of the cyclone was translatable to tell me information. And then I went and looked at the star maps to see the alignment of the stars to determine if it was actually a communication for me. And then my heart dropped in my stomach. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Damn. Yeah. Wow. Somebody said, I need your email, Rich, please. It's richandmerit@yahoo.com. RICHINMERIT@yahoo.com. I share it on here all the time.
I like that. Rich and merit. Rich and merit. That's rich in substance.
Merit's my last name. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the way you wrote it on your email,
Yeah.
rich in substance.
No, definitely. Shout out to my family, my family, the Merits, and where I come from, the Swifts. Somebody mentioned, because I talked about South, I told y'all I traced my folks back to South Carolina about the 1800s, I think, 1800s, something like that. My folks at that time were known as the Myers. No, it was something with a G. It was the Myers. Right before the Myers, it was, I forget exactly what it was. Oh man, I gotta look it up. The Grimes, yeah. The Grimes is as far back as I got. Yeah, the Grimes is as far back as I got. So I'm trying to get further back from that, but I got as far as the Grimes. So shout out to the Grimes, the Merits, the Myers, the Swifts, my whole family tree. Shout out to all of y'all. That's how I got here, y'all. But listen, I think that might be it. Is King Simon still in the chat sharing Rod's email? Let me see if the brother King Simon is still. Yeah, King Simon. Huh?
I don't use email.
Oh, not your email. My fault. I meant your Instagram and your Cash App and your Facebook. So shout out to King Simon. All right, that brother's always in the chat holding it down. Like I said, Dr. B should be on the Mall family. Make sure you tune in for that.